There's a lot of great games during rivalry week, but one of my favorites is good, clean, old-fashioned hate. I don't know why they call it that, but they really put the emphasis on hate. And if you don't know what that means, it's Georgia Tech and Georgia in Atlanta. Georgia Tech will be a 14-point underdog. The total sits at 59.5. And if you missed this game last year, you better go back and look at the tape because it was an all-time classic. 5 overtimes. Georgia won by a score of 44-42. We'll talk about that a little bit later. The Bulldogs come in with a 10-1 record. They're really heating up, coming into their own. 5-1 against the spread. They've won all 3 of their road games, but that doesn't matter because this is a neutral site game. They're coming off a 35-3 win over Charlotte. That might as well been a bye week. I'm sure the backups got plenty of work in that game. They should be well rested and well prepared for this one. That follows a 35-10 win over Texas, a very impressive performance from quarterback Gunnar Stockton, an impressive performance from the defense as well. Gunnar Stockton's having a big year. His numbers might not tell the whole story. He's thrown for 2,465 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. But the 71.4% passing completion percentage is impressive. And if you compare it to last year, Carson Beck threw for a ton more yards, 3,485, 28 touchdowns, and 12 picks on 65% passing. Beck was having some turnover issues last year, and they were having to throw for a ton of yards to stay in games. This year's team is a little bit different, but I like what I see from Gunnar Stockton. One question mark for the Georgia Bulldogs, though, on defense. They rank dead last in the SEC in quarterback sacks. They've sacked opposing quarterbacks just 16 times. Everybody else in the SEC, even Mississippi State, has 20-plus sacks on the season. So that is a bit of a concern. Another concern for the Bulldogs, if you want to lay the points here, they're just 6-14 against the spread in their last 20 as a favorite. They've gone over the total in 5 of their last 6 in week 14. We're going to talk about Georgia Tech, but before we do, let me tell you about a promotion we have available for Thanksgiving here at WagerTalk. For a limited time, you can get 7 days, all sports, all access for just $67. Why would you sign up for that from me? Well, I was 100% perfect with my football last weekend. That's college and pro football. I was 100% perfect all week with NFL, and I was 12-3, 80% overall with all sports last week. Now, the last 2 days have been pretty ugly. Four straight L's. None of those have been football plays, though, so don't be discouraged as we head into the weekend. I'm currently number 2 at WagerTalk with a 60% win percentage, up 57 units with the NFL the last 365 days. I hit 76% of my NFL plays in last year's playoffs. As always, there's no purchase necessary. You're more than welcome to tune in just for the free picks. But I do ask that you take the time to smash that like button. That really helps me out. And another thing that helps me out is if you've got anything to say to me about this game, any other game in rivalry week, you can talk about NFL, any sport of your choice, really anything you want to talk about, hit me up in the comments below. I love getting feedback from viewers. And let's see what the viewers have been saying this week. Let's have a look here. This guy says, Jesse, Merrill, and Ross are the best WagerTalk has to offer. Thanks it up. Well, I'm honored to be mentioned with Steve Merrill and Ross Benjamin. WagerTalk has more than just us 3 handicappers, though. I did mention that I'm number 2 the last 365 days with NFL. Rob Vino is number 1. I think he's worth a look as well. There's plenty of talent on the roster at WagerTalk, not just the 3 of us, but thank you very much for the mention. Let's have another look at another comment. Jesse is the man. He consistently makes me money. Many thanks, my dude. I don't always agree. He can be filthy at times. When he says filthy, I don't think he's talking about personal hygiene. I think he's talking about winning. And you should listen to these 2 guys, this endorsement. I don't know who these guys are, but I like what they're saying. They're welcome back anytime to talk about what they're talking about there. Let's get back into the game. Georgia Tech. Man, they broke my heart last week. I had Georgia Tech at big odds to make the college football playoffs. That dream, that ship has sailed. They just fell apart at the end of the year. It started off well, and it makes it hard to want to back them, even when you're getting 14 points here. Georgia Tech, 9-2 overall, 6-5 against the spread. They were 5-0 at home until they lost last week to Pitt, 42-28. Their defense is just falling apart. They can't stop anybody. But Georgia Tech is 3-0 against the spread in their last three versus Georgia. I mentioned last year's game, 42-28, 44-42 in 5 overtimes. Haynes King went off. Haynes King was an absolute beast in that game. He threw for 303 yards, 2 touchdowns on 26 of 36 passing. He ran the ball for 110 yards and 3 more touchdowns. Can he do it again? It'll be interesting to see, but regardless of what happens, you look at this Georgia Tech defense, it just appears to be broken. They allowed 42 points to Pitt, 34 at Boston College, and 48 at NC State. That's their last 3 games. So what do you think they're going to let Gunnar Stockton and Georgia score in this game? I think it's probably going to be a 40-burger or worse, and that total of 59.5, I don't know if that holds up. I think Georgia scores 40 by themselves, and Georgia Tech should be good for 25-30. So I'm going to lean the over in this game. The over is 5-1 in Georgia Tech's last 5 games in November. Georgia Tech has lost 11 straight to SEC teams. Again, I'm heartbroken about the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets being eliminated from the ACC championship game and the college football playoffs, but I still love this Haynes King at quarterback. I still have faith that he can rally the troops and perhaps compete with Georgia, at least for a little while, at least for long enough to go over that number of 59.5 points. So, as always, if you like the video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you've got anything to say to me, hit me up in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.